Hey everyone, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. Now, has anyone ever visited a retirement home before? I know I visited Freedom Village and a couple other places like that in the past, either with church, Cub Scouts, or with Musical Theater Village, in order to provide support or to spread happiness. And today, we're going to look at an episode where Princess Sofia and the Buttercups visit a retirement home for sorcerers. And trust me when I say that this is an episode that I originally wanted to blog for Father's Day 2 months ago, but then I decided to blog Chicken Little instead. But anyway, let's just get started. Airing on television on August 8th, 2014, this is Mystic Meadows. Now, in this episode, Princess Sofia and the Buttercups are visiting Mystic Meadows, a magical retirement home for sorcerers, and Sofia invites Cedric to come along due to his parents residing there. However, Cedric feels very hesitant about the idea due to him believing that his father, Goodwin the Great, will never pass down the family wand to him because he doesn't think he's a good enough sorcerer and always interrupts him, thus making him mess up. During their visit, Sofia offers to help Cedric earn his family's wand and his father's respect by entering him in the Mystic Meadows Conjuring Contest. Now, what are my thoughts on this episode? Well, in my eyes, this episode is good and all, but not really one of my favorites. And to further explain why, let's move on to Mustang Notes. Now, this is the second episode in the series that features the Buttercup troupe, which consists of Princess Sofia, Ruby, Jade, Meg, and Peg. Also, the moral of this episode is there are things that one must do on one's own, which to me is a similar lesson to the one in the Buttercups episode. Also, this episode teaches viewers how to have faith in others and allow them to do what they do best. As for the animation, well, I think Toei on CGI is still excellent, and I really love how they made the Mystic Meadows retirement home. In my opinion, it looks really beautiful, peaceful, and magical, and pretty nostalgic due to my experience with retirement homes. Anyway, the reason why I originally wanted to blog this episode for Father's Day 2 months ago is mainly due to the plot centering on Cedric's relationship with his father, which almost reminds me of my relation with my dad in a way. Due to him sometimes being a bit harsh and an unreasonable man who has a habit of always butting into my life at times. Also, I like the subplot involving the other Buttercup scouts, and I thought the Conjuring Contest was pretty cool. And now, let's move on to the episode's title song, Mystic Meadows, which is sung by Princess Sofia along with the retired sorcerers. To me, this is a really catchy tune, and it's very jazzy. In fact, this song is the first in the series to resemble an ad jingle, which to me is pretty clever. Plus, during the song, I noticed that one of the retired sorcerers is a recycled version of Madame Colette's character design from Forza Crowd. And now, let's move on to the characters and the voice actors who brought him to life. Princess Sofia is again voiced by Ariel Winter, whom was young Kairi in the Kingdom Hearts game series, Marina in Jake and the Neverland Pirates, Marlene from the complete version of Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, young Trixie in Speed Racer, Penny Peterson in DreamWorks' Mr. Peabody and Sherman, and Smurf Lily from Smurfs The Lost Village. In this episode, Sofia and the Buttercups are visiting Mystic Meadows in hopes of earning their good deed merit badges. At the same time, while Cedric is accompanying her, Sofia volunteers to help him acquire the family wand and help him show his father how great a sorcerer he really is. As usual, I think Sofia is a really helpful and kind princess, and I like that she's not afraid to put her foot down, like during the scene where she tells Goodwin straight up that he has been interrupting Cedric and messing him up all day. and that Goodwin can help out his son the best by backing off and giving him some space and letting him do the spell himself. Our main character, Cedric the Sorcerer, is voiced by Jess Harnell, aka Wacko Warner from the Animaniacs series. In this episode, despite the fact that he almost reveals his evil ways in front of Sofia, I find Cedric to be a very relatable and misunderstood character, and I think that his magical talents have deeply improved over the course of the show due to Sofia's friendship, faith, and confidence in him. Also, after receiving the family wand, Cedric becomes a more confident and powerful sorcerer. Next are Cedric's parents, Goodwin the Great and Winifred the Wise, voiced by the amazing Jim Cummings and the late Russi Taylor. Now, the last time we ever saw them was during the Cedric's Apprentice episode, where they were acting like a shoulder devil and angel. However, in this episode, they're living at the Mystic Meadows during their retirement. In my eyes, Goodwin has a bigger role here compared to Winifred. You see, Goodwin has a very high opinion of himself due to him gaining so many awards and accomplishments. And because of this, and Cedric's misunderstood accident involving his sister Cordelia, Goodwin has a very low opinion of his son's magical skills, and he has a habit of constantly correcting his stance or interrupting Cedric to help him with his magic, which results in Cedric messing up his spells. Also, while Goodwin is a bit harsh and critical, he's also well-meaning, and he also shows affection for Sofia. As for Winifred, she hosts the conjuring contest in this episode, and I like that she's very supportive of Cedric. Plus, Winifred gets really annoyed that her husband keeps getting in Cedric's way. At the end of the episode, Winifred becomes proud of Cedric when he wins the conjuring contest, and I'm also glad that Goodwin gives the family wand to Cedric while dubbing him Cedric the Sensational. Finally, we come to Baileywood, voiced by Tim Gunn, whom I remember from the 2011 Smurfs movie, Replacements, 2011's Teen Spirit, Mickey and the Roadster Racers, and Scooby-Doo and Guess Who. Now, Baileywood doesn't really have a big role in this episode, but because Ruby's mom, Helen, is sick, Baileywood leads the Buttercups as troop leader. And to me, I'm glad that we get to see Baileywood's leadership skills, since, like I said last year, he was a groundhog scout when he was a young boy. And now let's move on to my final words. Overall, Mystic Meadows is a pretty good episode, but still not one of my favorites. The animation is still pretty good. I like the callback to the Buttercups. Sofia was a great supporting character. Plus, while the episode does a great job at expanding the relationship between Cedric and his father, it still kinda reminds me of my delicate relationship with my dad, who, like Goodwin, constantly interferes with my life. The Mystic Meadows song is quite a jazzy tune. The subplot with the other Buttercups is quite good. And of course, the episode has a good moral of how you should always have faith in others and allow them to do what they do best. As for my rating, I'll give it a 74% out of 100. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to join me next time where we look at an episode where Amber joins the Buttercups. Mustang Power.